for precious girls everywhere. Uh, so I just got done watching Precious, a whole 1 hour and 49 minutes of Precious. Remember, y'all, this was a 2009 release. You can find this movie on Peacock, and man, that shit was heavy. And again, like I said, I've seen this movie before. I think I've only watched it all the way through probably once or twice. And it's been a very, very long time. Been a couple years since I actually watched this movie. And this time around, just like I'm pretty sure the first time I watched it, it didn't set me back like it did when I first watched it, because I kind of obviously knew what was going to happen. But I forgot how deeply emotional Monique's parts were. Like, this whole movie is fucking emotional. And it makes me want to go and read the book, because I heard the book was obviously better and it's way darker than seeing it visually in this movie. And I'm just like, man, it was a couple scenes, it was like 2 scenes where there were some tears that rolled down my face, and it's crazy because I hear my voice and shit getting shaky now just thinking about it. It's just like, there's people that actually live this type of lifestyle. And it's not even a lifestyle. That's funny. It's people that actually live this way, unfortunately, where their both parents are abusing them. Like, and what I noticed is the little girl that kept wanting to play with Precious and talk to her, and then finally Precious pushed her ass down in some garbage and shit. You know, the girl that was just wandering around the building, her hair was all fucked up. When I seen that little girl again in the hallway, and she was like, "Oh, Precious, you back," after she went from having the baby, I was like, that little girl is being abused too. That little girl's getting her ass beat. That little girl has a bad home life as well, which is why she's not in school when she's supposed to be. Her hair look a hot mess. She's just always wandering around outside or somewhere in the building, just, lost and lonely. And then the conclusion was, we seen that same little girl going to see, I guess that was the welfare office that they were at, and we seen her mom next to her. Excuse me. And the little girl had black eyes and her face was super fucking bruised, and it was like, see. And another thing that I noticed is, so the little girl who was getting abused as well, that lived around Precious or whatever in that same building, her mom looks very similar to Precious's mom. Even got that dark ass mole on the face. I'm like, oh, this is just sad. It's just sad, because it's just a circle of abuse. And I'm just like, you can't even fault anybody who decides to fucking murder and kill parents who are treating their child like this. There is no fault in that, because it's like, she's literally been going through this since she was like, what, 3 years old, being abused, being raped, being beaten, being belittled. I'm going to keep this short, and I'm going to keep this simple. If y'all have not seen Precious before, yes, this is an old movie, but who the fuck cares? This movie holds weight. The main characters, even the side characters, every character in this movie did its thing. Like, everybody in this movie was just absolutely perfect. it has its moments where it's not all dark. It gives you a little bit of time to breathe. It lets up off of you a little bit from the emotional aspect by giving you a bit of humor. But it's not humor that's disrespectful to the point where you can't take the movie and the storyline seriously. But it has a bit of relief. It has the slightest bit of a hurrah because we see at the end, Precious has both of her children. Precious has completely walked away from her mother. And she ended it all with a smile, knowing that she's going to be reading at a high school level come next year. She's going to be reading at a college level next, after she gets done with her high school learning. Like, she has progress, she's progressed. Yeah, she has progressed. And it's like, wow, she's one of the strongest motherfuckers I know, because there's no way somebody who's been abused since 3 years old, under those type of circumstances, and then it turns out at the end of the day, after all of that was said and done to you, you still have the HIV virus. You still have reminders each and every fucking day of what your father did to you, of how your mother treated you. But the fact that she was able to walk out that building with both of her children and her head straight, her mind, for the most part, clear, and a smile on her face, it's like, God damn, girl. You've made it in life. Like, you've come such a fucking far way. You've got to tell your story. Which is why her teacher, Mrs. Rain, was pushing her to write. Because at the end of the day, I probably would be sitting up in that motherfucking class like, you know what? This ain't none of this shit worth it, because at the end of the day, I'm in hell. And me writing every day and sitting in this goddamn class is not going to make me feel any better. But she continued. She pushed herself more than she had ever been pushed before. And if that ain't discipline, then I don't know what the fuck is. Precious, oof. So what would I rate this so we can wrap this up? I rate this, I'm very stingy with my 5 stars. But I'm going to go ahead and give Precious a 5 out of 5 stars, because this movie is just real. Excuse me, it's just real. And it hits home because it's like, I'm pretty sure, especially in the Black community, we have our issues, and this might be one of them. Abuse, sexual abuse, molestation, rape, just not being appreciated, just not being loved by the people who you would expect to love and care for you more than anything or more than anyone else could. I give this movie a 5 out of 5 stars. It's definitely a recommend. If you want to sit down, have a serious heart pull, something that's going to pull at your heart, you can get a conversation up out of this. This is not no light, bright movie, but this is a movie full of passion, full of acting, and full of soul. So again, 5 out of 5 for Precious. Recommended. Yeah. Awesome movie. The story is phenomenal, but it's extremely sad. But I feel like sometimes we gotta see movies like this so we can understand that shit ain't always gravy. And never judge a book by its cover, because at the end of the day, you do not know what one person has to go home and deal with, That's it. That's all. I see y'all later. Bye.